Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Jesse Jackson III, best-selling author and facilitator of the Don't Kick 'em Out book and training series. Welcome. Always giving content to my leadership colleagues, those of the school board, those of the superintendentship, those are the principals and A&P leaders in training. There's a difference between leaders and managers. They've got to get very specific training. I'm really at a really great period of time in my career because I'm seeing the things that I have consistently rolled out for people, the things that I have researched but also done. So what I am, what's called, is a presenter of practice. I only talk about stuff I've done and seen. I'm not a theorist. I'm not a person who can give you theoretical concepts. I don't know, I can, but this is ineffective. I specialize in getting things done. Practices that work. How can you gain a best practice? It's first by understanding that the practice is based on best people, and there has to be modifications in every environment. That's what a best practice really is. A lot of times, too often, we are looking for systems to duplicate, when the truth is the first thing that has to be diagnosed in any environment, particularly academics or a school, is the culture. Culture, by definition, is what we believe, how we behave. You will never get results or movement in an organization without identifying what your culture is. How do we treat each other? How do we treat the kids? How do we allow the kids to treat us? When organizations are they have to be forced to really evaluate those brutal realities, because a lot of times we'll have organizations, I work with management. And so they'll say, these kids, Jackson, okay, that's one side of it. Then they say, well, man, these teachers don't care about kids. And first, let me be the one to debunk the myth. I have had the privilege of eyeballing over 600,000 teachers in my traveling and teaching career, over 100,000 plus on Zoom during the pandemic. I have not met teachers that don't care. That's just not what's happening. That's not accurate. I am meeting people, teachers, that do not like people, that cannot get along with children or adults. I am meeting adults that don't like kids, but they teach every day. Now, people say, how can that be? How can that happen? You're delusional. There are people that don't like their own kids, and they got a fleet of them. Am I teaching good right now? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Huh? Yeah. Come on. People, this is not hard. I like to always say it's not, people say rocket science. No, it's not brain surgery. Rocket science is very easy if you understand physics. Really is pretty straightforward. Brain surgery is a little complicated. It's not complicated. So when we start, look at your culture first. So are you a school leader that's losing your staff? Are you losing your staff? What are the signs to look for that you may be losing your staff? You cannot, as we come to this break, we're coming down the home stretch of the break. We're going into the break period. You're going to get your 2 weeks off. Some of you are getting 2.5 weeks off. You got to, before you have to make this assessment, before you go into your break, am I losing my staff? Is my staff cooperation level with me? Now, the key is, I am a person who trains leaders, builds superintendents, build principals for a living. That's what I do. I stand next to leaders to really help that development process, because there's characteristics and understanding you have to understand about moving people forward, getting adults to work together, human behavior, how to maximize potential. These are things you have to understand in a management or leadership position. I'm not searching for buy-in from my staff. I've never asked anybody to buy into anything I'm saying, because I ain't selling nothing. See, what you got to have is cooperation. As a leader, I'm always soliciting cooperation, because this is what we're doing. And see, when you can get people to cooperate with you, they're moving together. Parents, if you're not going to help me, don't hurt me. Cooperate with me. Buy-in, I don't support. Somebody created that garbage. In sports and athletics, you can do buy-in, you can do sell. You selling concepts, selling your offense and things like that. When you work here, this is what we doing, man. We work here. This what it is. Here's the standard here. This is what we do. But I want cooperation. See, cooperation is where we're moving together. You want to do it. See, you want to be here. You want to work here. You think it's a privilege to work at this school, like you think it's a privilege to go to school here. Culture. Culture is what we believe, how we behave. Have you lost your staff? There's signs to tell you if you have or not. If you're getting in situations where your employees' morale is going down, that's where the kids are wearing the teacher out and they believe there is a problem. It's not a problem, where the teacher cares about the kids. A lot of times teachers can lose hope and belief on whether the kids can actually do it. Like, what are we challenging our teachers to do? We're still in test-taking culture, and I absolutely, as a person who I've deemed myself the A school maker, why I got 96 plus schools with an A on their state report card in situations where you shouldn't get it. We got 17 blue ribbons that have came out of my career in my program, and they all let me be a part of it, celebrating that blue ribbon. I know what I'm doing. I know how this works. I'm a master of culture. Culture's what we believe, how we behave. In the event that the teacher stops believing that the kid can learn, because notice what happens in the trauma zone. Those kids are 3 to 5 grade levels behind. Before COVID, they were 2 to 4. Post-COVID, 3 to 5. I mean, they were behind already. Take 2 years off of COVID. What do you think we got? So for the teacher, that really is discouraging. That's why we would have to be cognizant of if we losing our group or not. There's districts that's handing this stuff down and they pushing. And here it is. Here's the deal. I'm Mr. Push too. I remember spending time with one of my A school districts, stayed A during COVID, through pure hard work and push. However, it was a consequence to it, though. It burned everybody out. The group got tired, okay? So once again, we did what we had to do. We're going to push. We're going to keep this A. These kids going to learn something. The consequence, people retiring early. Consequence, dissension in the ranks. Consequence, principals fighting with central office. Central office losing hope and faith in the principals. See, consequence. What I'm always pushing for is awareness of how to keep our culture intact. Because if it ever becomes central office versus principals, the principals and admin versus the teachers versus the students and parents, we lost. We will not get production. So this is why you got so many F&D schools that should at least be C and B, but the culture's off, so it's going to show in the test score, right? We have schools that are C and B that could easily be an A if the culture was on target. Are you losing your team? Do they believe you support them? Have you lost your building messing around with student behavior? I call it foolishness. Spending your time having debates about dress codes, hoodies, cell phone policies we cannot agree on. We can't get all of the adults to run the program. We don't see it the same way. Thus, the energy's off in the building. Thus, the teacher is not emotionally ready to play. And when teachers ain't feeling it, when teachers ain't inspired, we are not going to get max production. See, this is why I've lived my life as a teacher advocate. See, this other little culture out here is really, I think, takes jabs at teachers. I recognized a long time ago, it is the teacher who saved my life. I knew that. So I will always speak up for the teacher, but in turn, I'm going to coach that teacher really hard on self-awareness and accountability. See, they'll let you coach them if they know where you're at with it. All my teachers tell them. They'll tell you, Jackson, be on that. They'll take it from me. You know why they'll take it from me? They know I'm team teacher. I'm always riding with the teacher. The teacher's always right, but maybe not right. That's good right there. Teacher's always right. That's the culture. It is what it is. The thing is, the teacher's always right, but the teacher a lot of time has to be self-corrected, has to be brought in, and you like they might not have done right. But the teacher's always right. The infrastructure of a class is the teacher has to stay in that good spot of I know what's best for the class. Now we got to help the teacher to know how to be aware of how they feel, be aware of how they think, be aware of the phases they go through during the course of the year, to show them how to really identify the personalities in their classroom that move them in certain moods and directions and distract them from maximizing their potential and their skill set as an instructor. That's what the teacher needs. That the teacher has to have that because the teacher requires an environment to be a champion and let the art form of teaching and learning go forward. That's what I've always advocated for. So notice what we see. What I'm seeing this year is there is conflict between the admin and the teacher. So what you'll see is behavior-wise and behavior policy-wise in the building, we're not on the same page. So it seems like this kid gets consequences for this kid gets away with this. This kid can fight and go back to class. This kid fights one time and they get expelled. This kid gets to wear a hoodie. This kid has to take his off. This kid gets to cuss us out. This kid gets held to stand. So it seems like the kids can get away with this, but the staff is getting written up. I'm teaching good. Raise your hand if I'm teaching good. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm seeing. Well, guess what? That's low performing culture. So our test scores are always going to be weird and not where we're supposed to be. I present to you, it really is very easy to get an A or B on your state report card if you understand some fundamentals. What we're starting at, this is what makes the teacher struggle. The teacher is starting at the academic level of the child. Test scores and culture moving around in a building does not start with the kid's level. It starts with the environment. Every A school I know, they have control of their environment and they can get 90% of the staff to get along. Meaning they know we together. When I start seeing test scores get goofy, particularly F&D schools, there's no cohesion in the team. The adults don't get along. Admin is on one page, teachers on another page. So the goal is to get that stuff, bring that stuff together. If you learn that, I can guarantee you we can move your test scores in a year. We got people continuously investing in new programs, investing in new curriculums, investing in pacing charts, doing all of these observations. And folks, that's fine, okay? What I'm saying, what I've seen personally, not that stuff you talking about. See, I would ask y'all to find somebody who is more traveled than me. And I'm talking about, I don't care how old they are. You got to understand, during COVID, I was in the 1% that was still in a district every week. Every week. Every week. I'm in a Zoom every day around the country. Okay. I've seen this week, I've been in 5 states. This week, I've been in 30 plus schools. See, I'm moving, and I'm seeing a lot from the West Coast to the East Coast, from LA to New York, all through the South, Alabama, Louisiana. I'm there. This is not what I'm hearing. I saw it myself. I saw multiple fights this week with my own eyes. I was there. And I saw how it occurred. I saw situations where adult supervision was off. I saw where a principal is not on the same page with their staff. I saw where central office and the principal are not speaking the same language, want the same things, and what it causes in a building. I saw the staff or a front office that didn't know how to manage disgruntled parents that brings their stuff into that room. Are you listening to me? Hello? You listening? See, that's what I'm talking about. You got to know that. And you don't know that sitting up in the office. You don't know that staying stuck at the state that you in or the district you've been in your whole career. You got to be out here, man. You got to know what's going on. See, I know what's going on, and I know what's going on from the inner city to the hyper privileged districts. I have several high class, high middle class, upper middle class districts, privileged districts, millionaires on the school board, millionaires that go to the school, their family. I have districts like that. Then I have working middle class districts. I have in the inner city with nothing. I have rural with nothing. I have all Black districts. I have all brown districts. I have all white districts, right? I have all cultures. I'm seeing it all. And a thing that's common is culture. It's undefeated. If a school can master culture, you can get movement on your test scores. You can get movement on the dynamics with staff. When it comes to behavior with students, if we're not on the same page, and right now we're not, that's obvious because it's too many philosophies in the building. And you start to see the resistance of the teacher, the frustration of the teacher, when the kid can cuss a teacher out, bleep, 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 get a talking to from management and get sent back to class. You just lost your building. My opening question was, have you lost your staff? Is this something you're fighting with? If you're a school and this is something you're fighting with, listen, you're not by yourself. Man, there are thousands of schools in your predicament, and there are hundreds under my care right now. What I've pledged to do, I'm a very fundamental guy. I'm not deep. Really easy to get along with, really easy to understand. I like to help people that are ready for help. That's why I've asked my staff, we're going to do as much as we can. So if that makes my life just a little bit harder, if I'm working a little harder, that means y'all working a little bit harder, I'm okay with that. The thing that I know more than anything is that we got to help these schools. If I don't help the adults, if I don't help you, the leader, if I don't help you, the superintendent, to bring same page harmony to your central office, and then know how to connect with your principals, not oppress your principals, not create that environment within the company. If I can help you, we're gonna win. If I can help a principal to get their management team on the same page, the teachers will follow. The teachers are not gonna follow disharmony in the ranks. They're not. And the kids are not gonna mind in a building with inconsistent discipline implementation. And that's whether you doing PBIS, restorative practices, or listening to Dr. Jackson just doing his Power 5. One of my Power 5 is whatever we decide on as the rule, we got to do it all 179 days or we are not credible. Had one district say they spent $27 million trying to address discipline. Folks, you could have gave me $500,000 and I'd have solved the problem for you. They almost spent $30 million. I said, you could have gave me $500,000 and I'd have fixed that. He actually said, it would have been a little smarter because it didn't work. His words, the big boss, finance guy. He said it didn't work. We spent all that money and time and everybody was like, it's not working. It's because they don't understand their culture. Every community has a culture. You cannot try to do what somebody else's culture produced it as a best practice. We can be in the same community and have different cultures. Our school can be down the street from each other with the theoretical same population and have a different culture. Building to building has different culture. If you don't master it, you will struggle. I am here for the superintendents, the principals. You know you need help. Listen, Jackson, it has not went right. I know I need some help in this area. This is why I'm here. This is the entire purpose of my life. I care about the kids, but there's no way to care about the kids if I don't help who's in charge and the teacher. The way to help children is help the adults. I don't see why that's so hard to understand. And it's really not. There's just some people that refuse to help the adults. They're like, I'm here for the kids, Jackson. I don't want to deal with these adults. These adults. That means get somebody that can help the adults. And I'm your guy. Call me, you need me. Email us today. I'm looking forward to working with you soon. I hope this helped you a great deal. Always check in every week for some of our new uploaded videos. I'm Dr. Jackson. Looking forward to working with you soon. Be well, my friend.